Today our topic is solving inequalities. So our essential question, how can I solve and graph inequalities with one variable? Some vocabulary for you guys. An inequality, a mathematical sentence formed with one of the following symbols. We have our less than or greater than or equal to, less than or greater than. So our symbols here, this is less than. And when we graph these, we are going to use an open circle. Here we have greater than. And when we graph this, we're still going to use an open circle. Here we have our less than sign, but a line underneath it. So this means less than or equal to. And this means we're going to have to use a closed circle. And then the last one, we have our greater than sign, but it has that line underneath it, so it is greater than or equal to. And we are going to use a closed circle for this as well. So this is a good reference chart that you're going to want to need for the whole chapter. One-step inequalities with addition or subtraction. Solving a one-step inequality is just like solving a one-step equation. All right, so we're going to solve and graph each solution. X minus 6 is greater than 9. Draw the railroad tracks. Add 6 to both sides. We get X. 9 plus 6 is 15. The only difference is now instead of carrying down an equal sign, we're carrying down a greater than sign. X is greater than 15. Now we want to graph that. Start with putting 15 in the middle. Put a number bigger to the right, which is 16, a number smaller to the left. Greater than has an open circle, so we're going to put an open circle at 15. Then we want to shade in the direction of the bigger number. Well, which number is bigger than 15? 14 or 16? 16 is bigger than 15, so we're going to shade over this way. B, our example B, y plus 8 is less than or equal to 5. Draw those railroad tracks. Undo plus 8 with a minus 8. We get y, and then 5 minus 8 is negative 3. We're carrying down our less than or equal to sign. Now we want to graph this on our graph, so we're going to put negative 3 right there in the middle. Put a number bigger on the right, which is negative 2. Number smaller on the left, negative 4. Then less than or equal to means a closed circle at negative 3. Then we want to shade less than. Well, the number that is less than is negative 4, because we would not want to be in debt $4 over $3. And we're going to shade this way. One-step inequalities with multiplication or division. Now this is where it kind of changes from equations. So when multiplying or dividing by a negative number, we have to flip the inequality sign. So this is the one difference between inequalities and equations, all right? So let's do some examples. 5x is greater than or equal to 45. This is multiplication. We want to undo that with division. So we have x is greater than or equal to 45 divided by 5 is 9. Graph the solution. 9 in the middle, 10 on the right, 8 on the left. Greater than or equal to means a closed circle, and we shade in the direction of greater than. 10 is bigger than 9, so we shade in the direction of 10. Second example, x divided by 2 is less than or equal to 13. Again, we can draw those railroad tracks. We have division, which we undo with multiplication, so we're going to multiply both sides by 2. We're left with x. 13 times 2 is 26, and then our less than or equal to sign comes down. Graphing this, we put 26 in the middle, a number bigger on the right, number smaller on the left. Less than or equal to. That equal to piece means closed circle. And we want to shade in the less than direction. 25 is less than 26, so we're going to shade in that direction. Next two examples. Negative 6n is less than 96. Now here's where things change. We're multiplying by a negative number. So we're going to divide both sides by a negative number. We get n is less than, my apologies. We get n, 96 divided by negative 6 is negative 16. We divided by a negative number. So before we would carry down a less than, we have to flip that and make it a greater than because we divided by a negative number. Graphing this, we want negative 16 in the middle, a number bigger on the right, number smaller on the left. Greater than, there's no equal to, so we do an open circle. And we shade in the direction that's greater than. Negative 15 is greater than negative 16. So we're going to shade in this direction. Last example on this page. J divided by negative 3 is greater than negative 15. Draw those railroad tracks. We're dividing by a negative number. So to undo that, we're going to multiply both sides by negative 3. J is left on the left. Negative 15 times negative 3 is positive 45. We multiplied by a negative 3 on both sides, which means our greater than sign is going to flip to a less than sign. Graph that. We have 45 in the middle. 46 is bigger, so it goes on the right. 44 is smaller, goes on the left. It's a less than sign, no equal to, so it's an open circle. And we want to shade in the direction of less than. 44 is less than 45, so we shade over here. Write an equation for and solve a real-world problem. So, a student pilot plans to spend 80 hours on flight training to earn his license. The student has saved $6,000 for training. Which inequality represents the possible hourly rates are that the student can afford for training? So let's go through and just box our keywords. A student pilot plans to spend 80 hours on flight training. So over a specific course of time, he's going to practice for 80 hours. The student has saved $6,000 for this training. So that means that's as much as he can spend. Could he spend more than $6,000? No. He could spend exactly $6,000 and he could spend less than $6,000, but he could not spend more than that amount. So no more exactly, or he could spend less than that because he's only saved that amount. Which inequality represents the possible hourly rates are? So hourly rates meaning the cost per hour. So per means you're multiplying. So it's going to take a cost, some money, and you're going to multiply that by the number of hours that you're in training, and that'll give you your total amount. Well, do we know the hourly rate? No, that's still going to be money. We know the hours that he's going to work. He wants 80 hours of flight time. And then that will equal his total amount saved, which is $6,000. However, he doesn't have to spend only $6,000. He could spend less than that $6,000. So we could put a less than or equal to sign. So let's find the inequality that matches that. Well, we know we're not doing 6,000 times our hourly rate, so we're going to cross these two off. Now we need to figure out which one matches our rate. Do we want a greater than or equal to sign, or do we want a less than or equal to sign? Well, in our inequality that they rewrote, we wanted less than or equal to, so our answer is going to be B. Now we want to solve that. Use your inequality to determine the amount of money the pilot can spend on flight training. Find that hourly rate. So we have 80R is less than or equal to $6,000. We're going to divide both sides by 80 to get R by itself. R, bring down the less than or equal to sign. 6,000 divided by 80 is 75. So our hourly rate could be less than or equal to $75. So to graph that, we're going to put 75 in the middle, 76 on the right, 74 on the left. It's less than or equal to, which means closed circle. That line underneath means it's closed. Then we're less than, so we want to shade in the direction of the smaller number, which is 74. And there we have it. That's all the notes that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.